Alleged.
You remember, Lee?
Yes, it was.
That in an attempt to make Nakuru attractive and make it a city, you picked street children, some street families, put them on the trucks, and went and dumped them in Embobut forest. That
Mr.
was.
Speaker.
I'm saying, let me finish, because you remember this matter came up in the Senate.
Yes.
And Embobut forest was said to be infested with hyenas and other dangerous wild animals, and some of those children were never found.
Mr. Speaker, it is extremely wrong.
I have used the word very advisedly, alleged.
I also have many allegations about everybody else. So if it's about allegations, I think we can also come up with allegations. But
I advise you not to lose your cool. Just answer questions.
It's about my integrity.
The way they are asked.
We also have
Yes,
allegations, if it's
yes.
about allegations.
Just answer questions the way they're asked. That's what Dawood asked. And I was making it clear to you because you remember this matter was in the House of Senate for quite some time. So go ahead and answer. If it is not true, even no is an answer. If you lose your cool, you will be unable to answer the next questions.
I have faced worse situations, but I just wanted to say I have my conscience, right? I can never do that. And the unfortunate thing, including at the Senate is politicians who are there. And the people who are sponsoring it today, I think let's also be fair. You can't call a governor to come and answer to allegations put by their opponent who have intentions to go to an elective position, and then use that allegation later against him. If there are people, this country has the best intelligence in the region. We have never said even one name. So I think let us also respect the institutions we work for. And I would say for Kenya and for posterity, the opportunity to serve in these institutions should not be personalized for gain. Because I was there, Mr. Speaker, throughout that period. How come only those people are known by politicians? Which family has ever come out? So I think it's good to be fair and also respect the positions we have. So in short, Bwana Dawood, that is an act of fiction.
Bwana Chairman, I don't have any interest in Nakuru. So I'm not a politician from Nakuru. It is alleged, that's what I said, we wanted a clarification. Governor should not feel offended.
Yes, don't apologize. Lee, an opportunity like this is very good for you to clear some of those things, not to feel slighted, because nobody's slighting you. You are being asked questions in good faith.
Well taken, Speaker.
Yes, Ferdinand?
He has not finished. No, he has finished.
Mr. Speaker, there was a secondary question.
Yes.
Chairman.
Yes.
There was a secondary question
from Dawood.
From Dawood. With respect to local investors feeling slighted, and sometimes when you talk about investment, we are largely perceived to be talking about foreign investors. And I think I want to identify with that. There was a situation where some local investors were looking for an appointment with an office, a big office in government, in the county governments, and they kept on looking for that appointment for 6 months until one day they changed and said they are from another country. They got the appointment the following day. So I think we must agree. The first investors must be you and I, the people who live here in Kenya. And even if the foreigners are to come here, they will make a call to those who are already here. So good referrals mean everything. So Mr. Speaker, Mr. Chairman, I want to agree with Dawood that a lot must be done to encourage local investment. And maybe while still on the issue of local investment, allow me to say that there's a marked difference between the attitude of Kenyans about Kenya and the attitude of foreigners about Kenya. And I think this speaks a lot to what he's saying. If you look at the investments that have happened in the country in the last 3-4 years, from GTC here in Nairobi to other major foreign direct investments coming here, it is huge, and it is a testament of the confidence in largely the country and the region, for that matter. But sometimes Kenyans are also caught up in a web of negativity. So foreigners will see what we can't see. So we need to come up together. The jobs that are being created are for us. And if the owners of the country think different from foreigners, then before long, they will come and invest everything and we'll have nowhere to go because of our attitude. So one of the areas I wish to engage in, further to what the Honorable Dawood has said, is to also engage in the attitudes. And maybe also to request Kenyans, when you're looking at your country, don't look at it in the lenses of your politicians. This is your country. You can change your MP, you can change your MCA.
Point of order, Honorable Chairman. Honorable Chairman, this word of politicians has been repeated severally. And for us, we are leaders and we are also politicians. So does it mean that if somebody is a politician, cannot give any views or ask questions, and whether he does it, it is wrong or it is witch hunting? We need some elaboration on that.
Honorable, proceed on the basis that a politician is not necessarily an irrational person. Irrational people are found everywhere, even out, and you are a politician too.
Yeah.
We were
Mr.
with
Chair.
you in the House. You became governor. Take it in that stride. That avoid unhelpful mentioning of politician. Just answer questions.
Mr. Chairman, maybe I can withdraw the term politician, but I meant that, you know, Kenya, if everybody out there sees the good of Kenya and the best of Kenya, let me not allow myself, if somebody has a different view, to change me. I think that's all I'm trying to say. And this is our country.
Ferdinand?
Yeah, I'm enjoying the presentation. Now,
then give it to Morgara so that you continue enjoying.
No, let me get to specifically what I want him to answer. I think this challenge facing our Kenya's export. Sometimes back, and I was a regional sales and marketing manager of over 13 countries. You would go to Middle East and had milk from Kenya. Today you go to Middle East, there's no milk at all. From Kenya, you'd rather have it, you find it from Uganda and other places. Secondly, there was also a program where you had this Pachuma, still keeping the animals are being kept in Pachuma grounds for export, trade, for export to Middle East, and I think to islands like Seychelles, Mauritius, and even Madagascar. I don't know what programs you're going to have to revive this, because it's a part of the trade that we had in the region. And I can tell you there was a lot of eagerness, because I went around to those places, in importing, or rather exportation of livestock from Kenya. And Pachuma ground is still, in the coast is still actually there. And if you walk to the Ministry of Agriculture, you do a lot of exportation from there. What programs would you have? What would you do to be able to revive this? Thank you.
George Murugara, you'll pass. Owen Bayer.
A quick question, Honorable Speaker, to the nominee. There's information that many factories or manufacturers are leaving the country. Okay, a lot of information now is that. Why do you think they are leaving the country? And what would be your plan to retain them in the country so that we can increase opportunities for young people, create more jobs, and also increase our GDP? The second one, KEBS, Kenya Bureau of Standards, is squarely in trade. There's also another organization called Anti-Counterfeit Authority also there. Why do we have issues of products that come into the country, still counterfeit, still fakes, and still substandard goods that are denting Kenya's image? Thank you.
Yes, Robert.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Speaker. I agree with some of my colleagues, or a number of my colleagues, that many companies have closed down and moved their manufacturing out of the country. And I'm happy because I've heard you, enumerate some of the reasons why. One of them, which I want to add, is obviously the harsh business environment caused by the harsh taxation regime, and sometimes even the unpredictability of our tax policy. Maybe those are some of the things you'd like to look at. But I want to go to that issue you've just been talking about of a politician. You are a politician, so are we, all of us here. And politicians many times focus on the next election. I'm aware you are governor of Nakuru, and you didn't complete the 2 terms. So there is a possibility you might be interested in that seat again. Now, can you give Kenyans an assurance that as CS, you will not spend your time in Nakuru County campaigning for 2027 at the expense of serving Kenyans?
Mule.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. To the nominee, Honorable Lee. Kenya recently ratified the EU-Kenya Economic Partnership Agreement, which seeks to create and enhance market access to Kenyans' exports to European Union. I want to hear from you, what will you leverage on this agreement so that we can protect the local markets and also increase our exports to increase our revenues from the European Union. Secondly, Mr. Speaker, Kenya is also in bilateral agreements with major partners like US, whereby the United States, through AGOA, is coming to collapse, actually to be precise, September this year. And you know the relationship between Kenya trade and the US is quite massive. As the minister, coming, if approved, to come to this space, what will you tell Kenyans on their face who have been benefiting from business between US and Kenya, and what should we expect from it? Lastly, but not least, Mr. Speaker, is a question from public, whereby when you are the governor for Nakuru, we had the tragedy of Solai Dam. And it really exposed, and we lost Kenyans on that. And a report was done, and a criminal negligence on duty by officers in Nakuru County was placed on them, as you are the governor there. What measures did you do? What response can you tell Kenyans? Are you going to be responsible with our trade and it gets to the same strategies in this country?